Savannah, everyone, give her a round of applause. She's going to be playing at the picnic we're having after service, so come and you'll get to hear some more great music. Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Ken Wilcox. This is the Center for Spiritual Living. You're most welcome to be here this morning. This is the place where you can come and affirm the best for yourself. Leave the rest outside, all the negativity, the lack and limitation, and know something good for yourself. You know, we're a unique spiritual community. We don't have any dogma. We don't tell you what you should believe. We encourage you to come to God of your understanding, one that you can empower your life to have the best of life. Well, I've got a couple of announcements this morning, so before we get started. The first is starting this Thursday at 2 o'clock, I have a class on affirmative prayer. We're using a book by Dr. John Waterhouse. And Dr. Waterhouse coming through, he will actually teach one of the classes. So starting at Thursday at 2 o'clock, and this class, it's going to be a practice class. It's going to be a lecture class, practice on how to do affirmative prayer. If you come for these 8 weeks, you will learn how to do affirmative prayer for yourself and for others. And hopefully you will create a prayer partner relationship, because this is one of the most powerful and easy spiritual practices you do, and one that can change your life. I know, because my partner has changed my life. So this class will be on Thursdays at 2 o'clock, the Art and Science of Affirmative Prayer. Now today after service, we have our picnic at Treaty Park. Pat Conover has been working diligently to make it beautiful and nice for us. And it's going to be a wonderful event. We're going to have free fried chicken there, so you have to get early, because I might eat up a lot of it if you don't. And then bring some snacks and other stuff. It's going to be a wonderful thing. Be sure to come for that. Now, on Fridays at 10 o'clock, we have a new thing we're doing that's called Meditation in Motion. And that's at 10 o'clock on Fridays. Geeta was doing a meditation class, but she's over in India for 6 weeks. So in the interim, we're doing this meditation in motion. I came on Friday. It's really a wonderful class. So if you'd like to do that, please come for that at 10 o'clock on Fridays. Finally, this Friday at 7:30, we have a pie murder mystery. We have a play we're putting on. It's a murder mystery play. We're auctioning off pies. I'm told they have some really great pies. Tickets are $10. So this will be a really fun event, 7:30 on Friday, the pie auction murder mystery, $10. You'll really enjoy it. It'll be a lot of fun. Well, those are all my announcements. So let's get Savannah back up, sing something really great for us. Come on back up, Savannah.
Heard there was a secret chord that David played and he pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the bow king composing. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. say I took a name in vain when I don't even know your name. Well, if I did, really, what's it to ya? There's a blazing egg of every word. It doesn't matter what you heard. The Holy is broken. Hallelujah. 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 I did my best, but it wasn't much. Couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord a song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Thank you, Savannah. Savannah has our number, guys. I told her to come to the picnic. She asked what to sing. I said, oh, hippie songs. That's what we want to hear. She knows it. Thank you, Savannah. What a voice. All right, to get our service going, let's do a reading and treatment. We got Pat over coming up to do it. Come on up, Pat.
I hope everyone has had a chance to read Jim's poem today. It is absolutely incredible. This reading is from Ernest Holmes' book, The Science of Mind. The only God man knows is the God of his own inner life. Indeed, he can know no other. To assume that man can know a God outside himself is to assume that he can know something of which he is not conscious. This does not mean that man is God. It means that the only God man knows is within. The highest mental practice is to listen to your inner voice and to declare for its presence. The greater a man's consciousness of this indwelling I am is, the more power he will have. This will never lead to illusion, but will always lead to reality. All great souls have known this and have constantly striven to let the mind of God come out through their mentalities. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doth the works. This was the declaration of the great Master, and it should be ours also. Not a limited sense of life, but a limitless one. I know that the power and energy that surrounds us and inhabits all of the worlds is God. And I know that God's power and energy flows through me, around me, and from me because of this knowing. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to feel this on a daily basis, to see it in my life on a daily basis. I'm so grateful for this beautiful, powerful Center for Spiritual Living, our wonderful minister, Reverend Ken, and all of you beautiful people who sustain us, who believe in the power within yourselves. The beautiful voice of a child. Is there anything better? I think. Knowing this, I send my gratitude into the universe to do its good and perfect work. As we say together, and so it is.
Thank you, Pat. It was lovely. So my talk this morning is when life doesn't cooperate. It's something we all know too well, that sinking feeling when reality just doesn't match what our expectations. When we've had a vision of what we've wanted and what we dreamed for, we worked for, and suddenly life takes a detour and it doesn't show up. One of the great spiritual books of our time talks about this. It's The Places You'll Go by Dr. Schultz. He wrote in there are times when the whole world seems to be cheering us on. Everybody's in line with us. Everybody's moving along with us. And then there are times when we land with a thump and there's no progress and no one around to notice. This is the message of the story of Christ going in Jerusalem. You know, he goes into Jerusalem and the crowds are cheering for him. The priests complain. He says, even to get them to be quiet, the rocks and stones will sing out. But just a couple of days later, when things turn, there he is alone in the Garden of Gethsemane. And not even his disciples would be awake for him. This is life. This is life. And we all find that sometimes we land flat on our rear. And sometimes landing flat on our rear is the exact new perspective that we need to have. For one thing it will show you who your true friends are. And that can be a surprising revelation to even the most wise of us. Now, 2 weeks ago, I took a trip up to D.C., my old stomping ground. I went with two long-term friends. The plan was for us to visit Monticello, Jefferson's house. It had been something on my bucket list I'd wanted to do for a long, long time. Now, one of my friends, we've traveled for years and years together, so we're very good. We know how to organize things to get through airports, hotels, road maps, getting to places, and we can really have fun, generally have fun. The other friend was someone that I hadn't seen for a long, long time, and we were kind of reconnecting. And unfortunately, the trip didn't go according to expectations. I was supposed to leave out of Jacksonville at 9 o'clock. I did not leave till 8 p.m. that evening. Along the way, I lost my driver's license. That was only the beginning of the fun. Yeah. I'm sure if I had looked out of the Jacksonville airport, I've seen flying monkeys circling the airport. Thank you. Now, we had some fun moments. We got to see Monticello, which is truly amazing. We got to wander through the Smithsonian, which was great. But one of my friends, he had lost his iPhone, which you know what a disaster that is. The other one came down with the pain in your hip that goes through your legs, that stuff. So he was just conscious on the couch. At one point, I told them all, after after our delivery service lost our food, I told them all, I said, I am getting ready to swing a dead chicken over our heads to break this energy. They thought I was kidding. I was not. I was serious about it. So why does that happen? Why does life sometimes go differently? We have plans, we have ideas, we have vision. Now, we believe fundamentally in this idea of affirmative prayer, which we believe gives us control over our lives. Dr. Holmes, the founder teaching, he said affirmative prayer, he said it's like mixing paint. He said you mix two colors together, you know what you're going to get. And there's no question, no doubt about that. Well, I'm glad that if that worked that way for Dr. Holmes, I'm glad. For me, not always. Sometimes, but not always. For me, life is more like Rolling Stone song. You don't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. You get what you need. Affirmative prayer isn't about bending the universe to our ego's demand. It's about aligning with our highest good, even when we can't see what that good is. It's not a vending machine. It's a divine dance. And sometimes we're called to dance humbly because we don't always have the full picture. We're on the ground floor, and there's something much greater going on, vast and holy, that sometimes escapes our limited view. I was listening to an interview this week by the actor Jason Alexander. You might remember him. He played George Costanza on Seinfeld. And during the series of Seinfeld, one season, we're going to have one actress who was coming on for just one episode. And she was coming on for his girlfriend. And they brought her on, and she did so well, they decided to keep her on. And she became George's fiance. Now, the problem with it was, Jason, even though he was a classically trained actor, he had been on Broadway, he had acted with many variety of people, he could not develop a rapport with her acting style. He said he would throw things out to her, and the response, he couldn't get the response he wanted. And he thought that it was a disaster. And when he found out that they were bringing her on for the seed, he went to the producers and he says, "What are you doing? I can't get the response from her. We're not working well together." And the writer said, "Exactly, that's what we want from you. George is supposed to be kind of a nervous sort of guy, and this is the response. She's working perfectly. What seemed like a flaw to him turned out to be a perfect gift." You know, you have to wonder if the oyster isn't necessarily thrilled the first time it feels the grain of sand. Without the sand, the pearl will never be formed. Now, one of the things that I've noticed, and this is about myself as well, is that a lot of times I'd rather complain about a circumstance or a situation rather than trying to make the best of it. I'd rather go around and complain about how unfair it is, what a victim I am. But we're called to rise up, to make the most with what we have, to do the best with what's right in front of us, and to bring the good we can bring about. And affirmative prayer is one of the best tools for doing just that, especially when things don't unfold the way we expect them to, even when the answer doesn't look like what we were hoping for. Someone once said, "Don't put a period on life where spirit intends a comma." Yeah. There was a Marigold Hotel movie, and one of the characters would say, "If everything's not perfect, then it's not the end yet." everything in the end will work out all right. Now, disappointment isn't personal. Sometimes it plays out throughout history. I was going to use this story last week, but it's not necessarily a Mother's Day story, even though it's about how Mother's Day got invented. Mother's Day got invented by this woman solely by her effort, Anna Jarvis. Anna Jarvis. She worked her entire life to create Mother's Day celebration, her entire life. Her intentions was this was going to be a heartfelt and spiritual day to honor mother sacrifices. She saw the day full of meditation and prayer, and that you would sit at mom's feet and listen to her stories, maybe go out and pick some daisies, organic, to put a little garland around her head. Now, she worked forever on doing this. Here's a picture of Anna. Yeah, she doesn't really look like life of a party, does she? She kind of has a little Lizzie Borden look to her. So she worked tirelessly. She finally got Woodrow Wilson to make Mother's Day official. Now, here's the thing. Almost immediately, she turned against it. She hated the idea that people would send cards, Mother's Day cards. She hated that they would send candy or flowers. This was nothing like she had thought. And she hated the idea that it was profit-driven, that people were making money off of it. So she spent the rest of her life and most of her fortune trying to abolish the very holiday she created. The thing she prayed into existence wasn't what she hoped for. And haven't we all kind of had a version of that? It was interesting being back in D.C. and being around, most people don't realize, but in many ways, D.C. is run by very young people right out of college. And there was one time I was one of those young persons. I was working as a press secretary for the congressman from my area. And I had longed to write, to be a press secretary, to write political speeches. I had just imagined that would be wonderful to write on topics of, the dissolving of Russia, trade relations with China, the national debt. I wanted to write about those serious issues that were affecting the nation and the world. Instead, my first assignment to write for the Congressional Record was in honor of a barbecue festival in Vienna, Georgia, called the Big Pig Jig. Not what I had planned at all. Now, in New Thought, we're given some tools about how to handle disappointments, not to deny them, but transform them. Not to hide from our hurt, but to say, what is this teaching me? What am I learning here? Ernest Holmes says, let go of preconceived ideas. The infinite intelligence can work through us in new and higher ways. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means loosening our grips on how we thought things should go and open to a higher wisdom, a deeper current. And that's always moving through us. And it has never given up on us. And to realize that sometimes what we're seeing is not the entire picture. The Apostle Paul says, we see through a glass darkly. We don't see the whole picture. And just because we don't see the masterpiece doesn't mean that it's not unfolding. It just means we're in the middle of it, not the end. Spiritually speaking, disappointment is not a dead end, it's a doorway. And so when we see our relationships not working out, when the dream job falls flat, when vision turns sideways, we can ask ourselves, what's the deeper truth to this? What am I really seeing? How can I fulfill myself with love and meaning and wholeness and belonging? Because they're always available to us. Maybe not the way you have imagined, but they're still available. Life has a way of offering us gifts in strange wrapping papers. And sometimes it's a challenge to see the blessings right before us, to recognize the blessings. And sometimes the cracks are the best part. Sometimes the places of woundedness are where our strength comes from. There's a Japanese practice called kitsunji. It's called golden joints. So when a vase is broken in Japan, they don't try to fix it to look new. They fill the cracks with gold. The damage isn't hidden, it's highlighted. And the scars become part of the story. The vase becomes something more beautiful than it was. It teaches us that what is broken isn't ruined, it is transformed. We all need to take that lesson in because, let's face it, we've all had disappointments. We all are walking around with bruised by grief or scarred by the way things didn't go as planned. And in a culture obsessed with perfection, we're told to hide those cracks, to smooth them over, to pretend they're not there. But what if those cracks are the very place where our beauty shines through? The Stoic philosopher and actually Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius, he wrote, "The way the loaves of bread crack in the oven, the way the ripe fig split open, these things have their own beauty." Their own beauty. And so do we. So do we. When we embrace our imperfections, the nooks and crannies of our personalities, when we tell the truth about our pain, when we become real, more compassionate, and more human, this is where our strength comes from. This is where the light gets in. When I was in D.C., it was right in the crest of the AIDS epidemic, and tests hadn't come out, and people were dying in untold numbers. There was an interesting author came on PBS a lot, and he really got me going in New Thought teaching, and his name was B. Siegel. Many of you may remember him. He wrote a book, Love, Medicine, and Miracles. And he was a cancer doctor. And he said that when he was a young man, he would go to his patients, and he realized that somehow they weren't connecting to him, that he wasn't able to make a bond with him that he felt was important for their healing. And he did a lot of thought on it and a lot of work on it. And he finally went to his mentor, and the mentor told him, he says, "Look, you're dealing with people who, they've lost their health, they've lost their hair, they've lost their energy. And you're going in, you're this 26-year-old guy in full health, you're bounding in, everything's working out for you. How can? There's nothing for them to hook on to." And so what he did, he shaved his head. He shaved his head. And with that, they could make the connection. When they saw his humanity, they could make his connection. Howard Thurman, he once said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive." And that's what we're doing here today. We're coming alive because all of you, every one of us has a gift that's needed and necessary and unique. Only you can bring the gift that Spirit has given you to the world. And you're needed and you're necessary. Without you, creation won't be complete. The Japanese kitsunji, it doesn't restore the vase to what it was. It makes something new, something stronger, something sacred. So if your dreams have been shattered, if life hasn't gone the way you planned, how can you move forward? Do you hide your cracks and pretend nothing has happened? Or do you fill them with gold? Do you fill them with spirit, with grace and wisdom, and shine forth in spite of what the world may be telling you? Shine on, because you have a light that the world needs right now. And you are a bold and bright, shining light of God's possibility. So don't be afraid of the cracks. That's where the divine gets in. And that's how the light gets out. We are not here to be perfect. We're here to be real. We're here to be real humans. This is what Spirit created us to be. Spirit didn't create you to be perfect. It created you to be human. And it's a tough job being human. It's a tough job to be human and have compassion. It's a tough job to be human and love even when your heart's been broken. It's a tough job to be human and still rise up again after you've been set on your rear and say to the world, I'm coming back at you. I've got something to give. I've got something to say. I've got something to do. And that doing is what Spirit has inspired in your heart and soul. And Spirit has never been disappointed in you for a moment. It's been more impressed with your possibilities than any of your mistakes or error. And Spirit today is calling you forward, urging you on to get out in the world and make a difference, to bring a new light to the world, a light of love and joy, happiness and compassion. And only you can do it, and you're up to it. You are the light of the world. So get out in the world and shine, baby, shine. This is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Who's ready to go to Japan? Golden Wings. I sure am. So I don't really believe in coincidences. And yes, I wrote this song. It's called Fight for Peace. And somewhat about that. When life doesn't go your way, what are you going to do about it? And, you know, sometimes when we're sitting in those dark pit times, we can become really identified with what we're going through. But at the end of the day, we're just looking for peace, right? And this song's called Fight for Peace. Life has a way of sneaking in and doing the flip before you can even begin to process it. Oh, to process it just is. Well, sometimes it's more than you can say when you're feeling the weight of all your mistakes. From the pain, my heart, it aches. I don't feel no grace, just the demons I gotta face. But I'm angry that I'm still angry, holding on to resentment and bitterness, like I'll get some kind of justice out of it. But slowly it's killing me, and this angst, no, it isn't really me, but the fight for peace. You thought this would be over and done with now. As the clock strikes midnight, you make a vow to let it go, to let it go. But you hold on, Well, this isn't the first, and it won't be the last. That you're diving in and out, reliving your past, and it tosses you around while you're bleeding on the ground. Please finish your purpose and leave. Now give me the wisdom to see. Give me the courage to be released. Give me the wisdom to see. I'm not so angry that I'm still angry. Well, healing, it comes in waves, and my darling, you are so brave to continue on this road that you made.
Mhm. Thank you, Savannah. So now comes the time where we support our wonderful community, and you can support us many ways. You can volunteer with us. We always have volunteer opportunities. You can support us consciousness, do prayer work for us, and certainly you can support us in coin. However you choose to support us, if you will take your intention and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And the ushers will come forward. Savannah, I know you got something great for us.
This song is called Close to the Edge. You've been out searching for something, and every day is harder to see the light of the truth that has guided you through. Getting harder all the time, it seems. Well, you might be close, close to the edge, close like a heartbeat. It's close to the chest. Don't you let go. Don't you give in. You don't know when changes right round the bed. Whoa, love pays a visit to those that need rest, and it's close to the ones that are close, close to the edge. Maybe your dreams have been broken. Maybe you never believed that someone like you could have dreams that come true. Well, babe, that ain't the way it's got to be. Yeah, you might be close, close to the edge, close like a heartbeat. It's close to the chest, but don't you let go. Don't you give in. You don't know when changes right round the bend. Whoa, love pays its visits to the ones who need rest, and it's close to the ones that are close, close to the edge. Oh, if your life is in a pit and you can't see out of it, just lift up your voice. Don't you let go. You might be close, close to the edge. Just feel your heartbeat. It's right inside your chest. Don't you let go. Don't you give in. You don't know when changing right round the bend. Whoa, love pays its visits to the ones who need rest. It's close to the ones that are close, close to the edge.
Thank you, Santa. And thank you, Diane. And thank you for your support. Your support is allowing us to grow and to thrive, to continue to be the beacon of love and light and compassion, to be the signal for hope and prosperity and health. So we thank you for your generous contributions. We bless it, we release it, knowing it does good and powerful work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. Well, all right, my dear friends, let's conclude our service with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. Just know this truth with me today. There is but one God and one mind and one power, and that power is perfect love, it's divine intelligence. That power created me, called me by name from stardust, so I could walk the soil of St. Augustine. And here today I stand. I stand even though I've had disappointment, even though I've had woundedness, even though my heart has been broken. Here today I stand in faith and the promise of Spirit unfolding before me. So today I make the decision to do the best I can with what I have, to put my work in what's right in front of me to do, and to hold in faith, knowing that Spirit is working and flowing through me. Even when I can't see master plans, sacred secrets will unfold in the stillness of the midnight. So here today, I turn loose of all worry and fear. I turn loose of lack and limitation. I turn loose of victimhood. I've played with those small ideas long enough. This morning in this sacred environment filled with all these wonderful, loving souls, I now choose to lift my eyes up until the breaking dawn of God's possibility. I choose to see myself as Spirit sees me, not as weak and wounded, bold, dynamic, thriving, out in the world and making a difference, seeing the mercy and love and compassion of God unfolding before my eyes. Because I'm on a journey, I'm on a mission from Spirit, and I am not turning back. I am walking the soil of St. Augustine, but one day soon and very soon, I'll walk the soil of a new heaven, of a new earth. I will walk the soil where sisterhood and brotherhood break out for everyone to live in. I'll walk the soil of a land where peace and harmony reign out, where the weapons of war have been done away with. I'm going to walk the soil that Spirit has promised me, and I am not turning back. I am not changing my mind. I am moving forward. I'm on the move, and Spirit is with me every step of the way. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing. I release this prayer into the mind of God. Do its good and perfect work, returning me in bold and dynamic ways. And I release this prayer into the mind of God, and together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last idea, and that is your life. Your life is not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle Spirit is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken wishing you many blessings.
Save Elvis for the picnic. Get ready for it. Let there be
Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth,
the peace
that was meant to be.
with God as our
with my brother
in
perfect harmony. Let faith begin with me, and let this be
the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my soul unbound. Take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my soul unbound. Take each moment and live each moment with peace eternal.